Listen to the show and peep what these dudes bring. If you didn't know, it's an orange and blue thing. Listen to the show and peep what these dudes bring. If you didn't know, it's an orange and blue thing. Hope to win the championship and a few rings.
We're talking baseball.
It's an orange and blue thing. Walk off if the game's tied like shoestrings. It's a Mets podcast, orange and blue thing. Beat the other team with defense and a few swings. LFGM, it's an orange and blue thing.
What's up, Mets fans? Back at you from the Seven Lions headquarters. It feels like the first day of school because we haven't done a show in here since like March. When COVID hit, we weren't really sure what was going to happen with the Seven Line as a whole, and Orange and Blue thing we put on hold because we didn't really feel like it was important for us to talk about COVID day in and day out, and the world was going through massive changes. So when we came back, it was Pete and myself from the Seven Lines truck at Citi Field. And Pete has since moved to North Carolina. So we're hoping that everything worked well with Pete and the fam on his head. He went from, what did he say, Williamsburg? No, he wasn't living in Williamsburg. He was living in Astoria, but now he's down in North Carolina. I am Darren Meenan. That is Julia Quadrino. And we are live on Facebook and Twitter. If you're watching us live, thanks for watching. If you're listening afterwards, we appreciate that as well. What's up, Julia?
What's up? I am not Pete. I just hope everyone saw that from the get-go, that he didn't have to announce that I am not Pete McCarthy.
You are not Pete. You are J Quad or Oh My Quad or J Quad with 6 Ds on Twitter.
Whatever obnoxious version of my name I've invented that you feel comfortable calling me is fine. Julia also works too. Yeah, I'm not Pete McCarthy. I'm super intimidated to be filling in for Pete McCarthy because Pete McCarthy is a pro's pro, but I'm just gonna do my best. I do my little trivia show every week, and I'm gonna try and
Big Apple Trivia. You've been killing it. I think you've done 5 weeks, right?
6.
6. Well,
we lost the first.
Yeah,
one.
my fault on the first one. So anyone who's been watching Julia every week on Instagram, it's Wednesday nights leading into the Mets game, and on the first one, Julia, actually, you shouldn't have invited me over to help because Julia goes, you know what, on the first one, I'm a little nervous.
I thought I was going to, my Wi-Fi connection is kind of spotty in my house, and I was so afraid that, like, I was going to be frozen, not even realize to do an entire show that nobody was able to see.
Right.
So I wanted you to come over and just, like, monitor that everything was okay. And it was really funny because the one thing Darren kept saying to me since the moment he stepped in my house was, the second we're done with the show, give me the phone so I can make sure it's saved. So we got to save the show.
Yeah. And I was the one who took the phone and hit the wrong button because you know what it was? You were getting so many texts from your friends and, you know, people that were saying like, hey, good job on the first show, that the notifications were dropping. And as I tried to like swipe one up, I accidentally touched it and then we lost it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that first show is just gone.
Technology is hard.
But it was great. I mean, the first show was great. But you've been doing a great job. It's been fun
Thank you.
watching along. And it's been cool for me to watch a whole nother show on the Seven Lines platform that I have nothing to do with.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're running the show, you're running the questions, which is a lot to do because I do Instagram lives, you know, here or wherever, and sometimes we pull in random accounts of people that want to chat. But to do that as like a game show with no titles, no music, not like
and not knowing who you're bringing to a live audience.
Well, like in the beginning, if you haven't watched yet, Julia goes like, please don't be strange or don't be weird.
There's 2 rules. One of them is you have to close your eyes so you can't cheat and read the chat. The second is don't be a weirdo.
Yeah.
And that rule was for sure broken last night. We had a couple weirdos, but
asking people to not be weird on the internet is like
it's almost like an invitation to be as weird as you can.
Yeah.
Like without.
I mean, so far everyone's been pretty PG.
Respectful.
And I know you got to keep your finger like hovering over like the end button.
Just in case. You never know. I always caution people, you know. There was one person who played without wearing a shirt once, which I didn't even realize as it was happening. And then after the show, someone was like, why wasn't that guy wearing a shirt? I was like, that guy wasn't wearing a shirt? So now I feel like I need to
There's
be
no rules on the internet.
I know.
You
know
know
what? I've had a few friends that have said like that one game where I was accidentally picking people who didn't want to play. And one of my friends was like, I totally would have, but I was like shirtless playing 2K eating a sandwich. So like I didn't think you wanted me, whatever. But next time, just wear clothes, everyone. That's number one rule.
So Big Apple Trivia every Wednesday leading into the game. Usually it's going to be at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Last night was at 5 because of the 6 o'clock start in D.C. But now that we have a phone line again, now that we're back in the studio, if anyone watching live wants to play a round of Big Apple Trivia with J Quad, give us a call. 631-388-5195, and we'll put you on the air. And we're going to do like a 60 seconds?
Yeah, I will say it's not like a full 4-round game.
No, just one question.
The third base round, for anybody who watches, is the timed round. It's like X number of correct answers in 60 seconds. So I brought one of those. Those are the ones that people seem to crack under pressure for, which is fair. Anything timed is intimidating and scary, but I think this is
I looked
doable.
it over, and like
doable.
I'm horrible at trivia, and I think I might even be able to get that one right. So if anyone wants to play, give us a call. We'll give you something for free from Coors Light. And Coors Light, that's a nice segue there. So let's talk about our friends from Coors Light.
Love my Coors Light.
I told you a couple weeks ago when I went up to New Hampshire, I packed my cooler and I brought 2 Coors Lights for after the race on Sunday.
You did, and there's evidence of it.
There is. If everyone cares about my motocross career in the C level, which is like
are out there.
the worst level that you can have. It's ABC. I race C, but whatever. I've been racing 25 years.
Yeah.
But anyway, go to get.CoorsLight.com if you want to pick up some Coors Light, and they got this really cool option now where you can get beer delivered to your house. All you got to do is type in your address and your zip code and so on and so forth, and it tells you how you can pick up the beer, what time it'll get delivered to your house, and I think that's incredible. So today you have the day to stock up for tomorrow. The Mets finally have off. They've played 13 straight days. They're 5-8, but now you could stock up for the weekend, get your Coors Light delivered. So go to get.CoorsLight.com. Always remember to celebrate responsibly. And shout out to our friends from Coors Light. Press, reset, and chill. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the best things we got from Corona was beer being delivered to our homes. I don't know if we had that before.
No, there was definitely no beer. Maybe there was like certain brereries you can get beers
but like
delivered.
obscure, like not like a
you
common
definitely couldn't
thing.
in New York. You couldn't do beer to go.
Yeah,
you couldn't like get like a 32-ounce margarita on Main Street in Patchogue and just leave with it.
Now they give it to you in like a coffee cup, and they're like, "All right, have a great day."
It's almost like, have you been to New Orleans?
No.
I was hoping to go
New Orleans
for Nolans for my big 4-0. I know I'm aging myself here because I know you're like 21.
24.
Big difference. So anyway, in New Orleans, Nolans, if you go down there, it's a free-for-all. You do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. We went, what year was it? It was, we got married in 2014. I know. Thank you. Thanks for not getting me in trouble there. In 2014, we got married, but Kelly's birthday is in April, and maybe we went down right around her birthday the year before. And that's when I had talked to her dad, like, about getting the ring and stuff. Yeah. So we were down there, but you could actually go to bars in Nolans, get a drink to go, and walk into another bar with it, which is random.
That's
like you wouldn't
crazy.
think you could bring your own drinks to another bar because you know what it is, like everyone on Bourbon Street's in like the same boat of like, all right, we're all making money.
Right.
You know? So we went and got these gigantic fish bowls and went to some like piano bar with it from a different bar and didn't spend a dime in the place.
That's sick.
And then left.
That's
was really
weird.
Is this Miriam who plays with you on Big Apple Trivia?
It very well might be. I don't remember if she's from New Haven.
Well, Miriam's
a star.
Does play Big Apple Trivia. Yeah. She hasn't won yet, right?
She hasn't won the actual game, but she's won a few of those between innings questions. She won last night, actually. She won $10. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, she might win something from Coors Light right now.
She's here.
I'm going to do the stopwatch. We'll take the call. Hold on.
Oh, you know what? I did bring my stopwatch, but.
Miriam, are you there?
Yeah, it's me.
Miriam, hello.
Hello. Are you sick of me, right?
No, not at all. No, you know what, Miriam? You need this redemption because the third base round is what always gets you. Am I right? So this is
right. I could have, but like when you gave Elijah last night, I could have done that one.
I know. I believed in you. I was trying to get some new faces, but I swear, if we had one more, I might have had you. I think Gianna and then you. I like getting girls in there every episode. So if anybody's watching this, I need more girls. It is a sausage party every week, which is fine. I am not, trying to scare away the guys, but I would like to see some girls because.
So when do you start the stopwatch after you ask the question?
Yeah, since we're not doing the whole attempt to steal thing when I finish reading the question.
All right, so Miriam, Julia's going to read you the question. I'm going to press the start button and I will count you down. All right?
Okay.
Sure.
All right, here we go. In franchise history, 28 different Mets have hit 25 or more home runs in a single season. Now, obviously, some of these have done it more than once, but only 28 different players have done it. 25 or more home runs in a single season. In 60 seconds, I need you to name 12 of them.
Okay.
All right, go.
Sure. Go?
Yep, go ahead.
Pete Alonso,
Yep.
Mike Piazza, Michael Conforto, Darryl Strawberry.
Yep.
Let's see, David Wright,
Yep.
Lucas Duda, Ike Davis. Let's see, who else?
You're at 7. Keep going.
Let's see, Jose Reyes, Lenny Dykstra. I'm just throwing out names here.
Oh, no, not Lenny.
Let's see, Edgardo Alfonso.
At 8.
Let's see, how many more do I need?
You need 4 more.
Jeff McNeil.
Not yet.
What?
Not yet. I'm sure he will.
Not yet. Okay, Jeff McNeil. Let's see. So,
20
let's see,
seconds.
Who else? Edward Cranepool. Let's see. Kevin McReynolds.
Yep.
Let me see. Who else? David Magadan.
10 seconds.
Gary Carter.
Yep.
Todd
2 more.
Hundley.
Yep. 1 more.
Todd Zeal.
Nope.
Wilson Ramos.
Time.
Oh.
How many did I get?
Hey, you got 11. You were so close, Miriam.
So you needed to get 12?
She needed to get 12.
Miriam, man, always just a little short
You
there.
know what? But I will say, if this was a regular game, she has made it to the third base round with her attempt to steal intact every single time. So if she was able to use her attempt to steal and make that number 11, she
All
would
right,
have
so you
had
know
it.
what, Miriam? We're going to send you something anyway from Coors Light. Stay on the phone. Lizzie will get your address, and we'll
Thank
mail
you.
something out to you, all right?
Awesome job, Miriam.
Thank you.
That's all. I love that.
I love it,
I wouldn't
too.
have been able to get that, I don't think.
No, Miriam is like a Mets trivia legend in her own right. She's played, I forget what the actual, I'm sure she'll tell me what the name of the actual promotion is, but that game that they play at Citi Field in between innings where you like sit in the car on the field,
yeah.
she's done that like 2
Ford
or 3
something.
times. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I forgot. I've had a freaking hell of a couple days.
Yeah.
We lost
We
power.
all
Like
have.
I honestly, if it wasn't for Orange Blue thing being Thursday, I wouldn't even know today's Thursday.
You didn't know
Tuesday-
today was Thursday 2
I
seconds
didn't,
ago.
right? Yeah, before we went live, I'm like, what's going on today? Obviously, if you're in the Northeast in this area or even up and down the coast,
Yeah.
you know that there was a hurricane that rolled through. I don't think it was a hurricane when it got here, but
No, it's tropical storm.
I was working here on Tuesday, and, at some points it sounded like our roof was about to fall off, but
Yeah.
on most days it feels like that when there's like a random
Wind.
big storm around here. When I got home, I get a text on my way home
Yeah.
from Kelly that said, "Bad news." And I was like, all right,
so
what could
ominous.
be like bad news,
Right.
So you were over on 4th of July, like
Yeah.
the string lights I put up, and I was-
Gorgeous.
yeah, they lasted what, a month? Not
Oh.
even a month. Yeah, a month and 2 days basically. So we had a tree fall down
sucks.
in the yard. It knocked down the string lights. Another tree from our neighbor's yard fell into our property.
Did it hit like a fence or anything?
It just missed our shed,
Oh my
and
God.
then another tree that had the string lights on fell into my neighbor's yard and took out his shed.
No.
But the craziest part about
How
this
does
whole
homeowners
thing,
insurance handle that? Who gets covered for
my
that?
neighbor's so cool. He's like, we were gonna buy a new shed anyway, no big deal.
Oh,
I said to him
awesome.
like, let me know what the cost
Yeah.
is. Like, it's my tree, it's
Right,
my fault
right.
basically. And he's like, we already had a new shed on. We were ordering a new shed anyway, and nothing in the shed
Wow.
got destroyed. So my neighbor's the man.
That's good karma
So
for you.
yeah. So the last couple days have been nuts. Our power was out until last night.
Yeah.
And I haven't really slept in a couple days. But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, no,
that's what I'm saying.
same.
We started talking about Coors Light. I didn't even open the beer.
Oh.
So cheers to you.
Cheers.
First beer back in the warehouse here. I think I needed this. All right. So again, thank you to Coors Light for that. But if you're watching this, or even your show last night, some people were sacrificing their data minutes.
I was really thankful for
With
that
no
because
Wi-Fi.
I know like my family's I don't know where people live, but Smithtown is like
Doesn't everyone
shot
live with you right now?
My entire family is staying with me. My parents, my brother and his girlfriend. So my parents are sleeping in my room. My brother and his girlfriend are taking the guest room. I just had a roommate move into the 3rd bedroom, so I have slept on the couch for the past 2 days.
Sleeping on the couch in your own home.
in my own home. It's fine. I don't mind because honestly, they're at their own house, and I'm pretty sure a tree fell on a power line like in my parents' yard. So they're done for God knows how long. But their cell phones aren't really working. When I call them, I can't hear them. So I know if I were to ask any of them to sleep on the couch, they would just opt to sleep at my house, like my parents' house, in their beds. And God forbid there's an emergency and like I don't want to deal with that. So I'll just sleep on the couch, make sure everyone's safe. It's fine. But it's been chaotic.
Well, they
so.
put a roof over your head for how many years?
Exactly.
Which is crazy,
I can return the favor. It's
24
fine.
years old, owning your own home is wild.
Yeah.
So we're kind of jumping around here, but you went to school at St. John's.
I did.
You went for broadcasting?
Yeah, so I started my freshman and half my sophomore year. I did sports journalism and broadcasting. That's what I did because, I mean, you're 18 years old. They tell you, what do you want to do with your life? And I'm like, okay, well, I like sports and I never shut the fuck up. So it makes sense. I guess I'll do that. And it was funny because I was on the e-board for, I think it was the Sport Management Club. I feel like I should know this if I was on the e-board, but whatever. It was like 5 years ago. And we had this networking event where we needed to ask people to come and speak about their jobs in like the sports industry. And so me and Darren weren't super close friends at the time, but like knew of each other. And I asked Darren to come.
I was so nervous.
I remember you were like shaking. I had to like talk you down. I'm like, listen, it's college kids. You're fine.
Yeah.
But it was funny because all of these like professionals and like marketing and working for these teams or whatever, they came in like their suits. And Darren rolls in wearing a 7-line tee and hat because what else would he wear? It'd be weird if he was in a suit. And he went up there. And afterwards, you know, everybody breaks off and hugs people. And Darren was being swarmed. Everyone wanted to talk to Darren. He was like the most interesting person there.
Didn't we do different tables and like everyone
Yeah,
rotated?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
but everyone was coming up
yeah.
to you. But it was one of those things where I had this moment because I was in my sophomore year at the time, like sports journal, like it's fun. It's fun to make sports your work. But, you know, especially as a girl in the industry, it becomes really sketchy really quickly, especially when you're like an 18-year-old girl. So I wasn't loving it. And I was kind of at this, like, I had this mindset of like, well, you know, I'm already a year and a half into it. It's too late to quit. I can't do whatever else. And then I'm not even going to lie. That night when Darren came to St. John's and was up there talking about how he just started his own business in his parents' basement and now look what it is. And I'm not even kidding. I didn't drop out. I transferred home from St. John's after that semester. I enrolled in Stony Brook. I studied business management and I started my dog walking and sitting business because that's like what I really like love to do. I had been fostering dogs for people who were in like the military overseas without a place for their dog to stay for years. And like I always wanted to make that into a job if I could. So it's really full circle because not only was Darren the one who kind of like inspired me almost to start my own business, but now he's like gotten me back into hosting, broadcasting, whatever you want to call this.
I never knew that.
I owe my life to Darren, essentially.
Give me a break. No, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
So now you have employees and stuff. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Congrats to you.
Thank you.
Let's bring in another call here. We got another familiar name and a familiar
Can I
voice.
tell you, Joe
Sure.
DeMaio was my friend who was shirtless eating a sandwich playing 2K when I called on him.
Oh, maybe that's why he's calling now.
I have a feeling that's why we're hearing from him.
What's up, Joe?
Not much, guys. How we doing? Yeah, I was gonna call and say I'm an open book, but Julia just exposed the hell out
Hey,
of me.
I purposely did not say your name.
She didn't say your name.
I
You
was
just-
going to, and I was like, you know what? I don't know how that'll be received, but I appreciate you owning up to it.
Listen, being a man of open book, I don't know if you want to spill the beans here, but I saw you posted a photo the other day of like a microphone. Are you going to be a
I saw
competing
that too.
podcast or what?
I'm taking you down there.
What's the story? What are you doing? Can you talk about it yet?
Not quite yet, but there is a podcast in the works that hopefully in the not too distant future you'll
It's
be
exciting.
hearing my own thing. But
Awesome.
yeah,
Just wear a
no,
shirt when you do
I'm
it.
excited. I will wear your guy's shirt. I love you guys.
So what's going on, Joe? What do you got?
Not too much. Just wanted to call, shoot the stuff, say hello. I actually took a lunch break, which is really weird when I've been working from home since March, since COVID. So, like, I don't take lunch breaks anymore.
Right.
Kind of, what's the point? So I took a half hour. I said, you know what? I'll give them a call. I always watch you guys. I watch Big Apple Trivia, which is how I almost got on.
Well,
yeah,
Joe, not
I'm
to put you
sitting
on the
there.
spot, but I do have one more question if you wanted to play. If you want to go, you can say no because I'm totally putting you on the spot.
I'll play, but I'm going to be really honest. I'm kind of like Darren. This may be a surprise. I suck at trivia.
No, you're minor leagues, so no one's judging you. Your minors is your game. If you don't follow Joe on Twitter, do it. He's the best follow for minor league stuff. But we could go for it. You want to try?
Let's play.
All right.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go. So time will start after I finish reading the question.
Just
okay.
stay nice and close to that mic.
Yeah, I know. I drifted. Here we go. In franchise history, 18 different Mets have recorded 30 or more stolen bases in a single season. In 60 seconds, I would like you to name 8 of them.
8. All right.
Go.
Jose Reyes.
Yep.
Hojo.
Yep.
Howard Johnson. Who the hell else was fast for this team? I feel like they haven't had fast people.
I know. Some of them you'll know. Some of them are obscure. Think 80s. There's a bunch of 80s.
A lot of 80s. Okay. Did Lenny Dykstra steal
He
a bunch
did.
of bases?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Wally Backman.
Yep.
30
Kevin
seconds.
McReynolds.
No, not Kevin. Think who once ran really fast to first base, and it was kind of a big deal.
Brandon Nimmo.
Not Brandon Nimmo. I was thinking 80s
Oh,
still.
he runs really fast to first base.
He does.
Wow. See, I told you. I think.
No, this is a hard one.
I'm trying to think. Late 90s, did anyone steal really fast?
You got 5 seconds. 90s, there are a few.
And
5 seconds.
that
See?
is time.
That honestly.
A minute feels so much longer
Yeah.
when you hear like someone struggling so hard
And
on
Joe,
the other end.
I'm not going to lie, that was a hard one, and that's why we weren't going to do it, but I figured you were on and I'd ask. But I was actually going for Mookie Wilson with somebody who ran really
Mookie,
fast to
yeah.
first base that
Yeah.
one time it was important. Some
That
other ones,
should've been an easy one.
Darryl did it once, Angel Pagan did it a few times, Ricky Henderson did it once, and the one that I wouldn't have known, Eric Young Jr. did it twice. He had 38 in 2013 and 30 in 2014. Never would have got that
Wow.
one. Yeah.
EYJ.
Yeah. It's a hard
Wow,
one.
Yeah.
But that was a great
Wow.
effort, completely on the spot. You weren't prepared. You had
That's
half of
okay.
them. That's an awesome job.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I wanted to call. Keep up the good stuff, Darren. And you
Thanks,
know,
man.
I watch all your. I'm always on top of your guys' stuff, but I was gonna definitely tell the Instagram stuff because all of a sudden I'm sitting there, I'm playing 2K, just chilling, shirt off, and all of a sudden I hear, "All right, I'm putting on my Instagram name."
And I didn't even know that was your Instagram name at the time.
Yeah, no, my Instagram life is nothing like Twitter. I
It's
don't
very
really-
private.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just don't really care about Instagram either. I only care about Twitter.
Yeah.
But
Big mood.
I heard my name and I just freaked out and I was like, swipe up, get out of here.
Joe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
It's
do that to you,
okay.
but it's a great story, and I'm glad that you called in and revealed yourself because I feel like I would have had to eventually.
No, it was fun. I heard it and I was like, all right, I gotta call in and own up to it.
All right, Joe. We'll
awesome.
see you soon, man. Or hopefully.
All right, man. See
All
you
right,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's tough to say see you soon to people now because who knows what
Who
the hell
knows?
is going to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, we see Joe around
Right.
when we're at baseball games.
Right.
And, there is none right now. So, well, there is, but we can't go.
Right.
So speaking of before, when I was like, oh, how old are you? 24, yada, yada. I always feel like whenever we're all hanging out, I don't know if this is a coping mechanism for myself because I'm getting older, but I feel like everyone's like the same age.
Yes, I agree.
And, you don't want to be lumped in with the 40-year-olds because you're still in your young 20s.
Right.
But this clip came up on the Twitter.
Oh, this was new to me.
And you probably have never even seen an
I was
episode of
probably an
Baywatch in
egg
your life.
when this was made.
This was in '94.
Lizzie
When's
is
what's your
cringing.
birthday?
95.
Oh my God! So you were not even
95.
born yet.
I was not born
So Mike Piazza was on an episode of Baywatch during the strike in 1994,
This is incredible.
and I'm gonna play it now. If you haven't seen it yet, go onto the Twitter and watch it. But this is great. So the Baywatch was so bad, but like
I mean, I've heard of
everyone
Baywatch.
loved
I
Pamela
know
Anderson,
of
so that's probably
Baywatch.
why they watch the show.
Yeah.
This is great.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Why are you swinging that baseball bat?
Well, I'm a baseball player.
But why did you bring it here to the beach?
Well, I'm trying to keep my swing sharp while we're on strike.
Just don't hit anybody.
Help! Over here!
Excuse me?
Help! Somebody help me!
Grab the can!
8 inches of
I
water.
know the water's shallow, but it's still dangerous. You're in a very strong rip current.
Yeah, it is strong.
No matter how hard I try. How hard I try, you pull me back. And that's how you feel. You okay? Yeah.
Hey, aren't you Mike Piazza?
Yeah. What's your name?
Mike just swoops in there at the end.
It's not quite Keith on Seinfeld, but it's something.
That was great. I can't believe I've never seen that
Me
before.
either. I had never seen. And Mike Piazza was my first guy.
Yeah.
And I like to think, kind of like David Wright, I've seen everything he's done just because I obsessively. I have never seen that.
Well, this
That
has
was
like
amazing.
it's closing in on 1 million views.
As it should.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that yet, it's fantastic, and it's great. It's so 90s that it couldn't be more 90s.
It is peak 90s. It's so good.
So yeah, that's freaking crazy. I do want to give another special shout out to our friends over at Dugout Mugs, which they have an insane deal this week. Every week they come up with something, and this week is no different. So this is insane. Go to dugoutmugs.com/Mets giveaway. And they're giving one winner 4 free mugs.
Holy
so
crap.
this is crazy. It's like over $200 worth of mugs.
Am I eligible? Am I ineligible because I'm doing this right now? Because I might try and do that.
You could sign up. I think you'll be all right. So all you got to do is sign up. Like, you don't have to buy anything. There's no special, there's no hitch
That's
here.
awesome.
So you go to dugoutmugs.com/Mets giveaway, type in your name, your email address, and your phone number, and that's how you get on the list. And then if you win, they're going to text you, and then you'll be kept in the loop. But if you don't know about Dugout Mugs, I'm surprised because we talk about them every week. They are baseball bats hollowed out into mugs, and they have a whole bunch of different options. This is their straight up bat mug. They also have the knob shot, so they'll take the bottom part of the bat and turn that into a shot.
So cool.
They have on Julia. What do you got over there? That is the wine,
This-
the
this-
bottle opener.
There's
They also have wine
I'm
ones.
learning where the cameras are. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. A lot of really
This is
great
sick.
options.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They have such great stuff.
That's awesome.
Go to dugoutmugs.com and get involved in that offer if you want, or just check out their website because they got a whole bunch of stuff on there. They have an MLB license, MLBPA license, so they can do the player stuff and also the Hall of Fame. So a lot of really great stuff on there. This I think I want to get done.
I think I'm going to do that too. I was
Whenever
thinking of doing that for
baseball
my
starts
dad.
again, and we can get like a family photo
Yeah.
or something like that. So you can upload your own photo and then engrave it into the side of the bat mug.
That's
and Like
awesome.
that. It's a good idea at Father's Day or
I was
stuff
thinking,
like that.
I was thinking I might do that for my dad. Like get the picture of us at Johan's no hitter because that's like the ultimate picture of us at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
We talked about this before we went live, and like I told you this as well. Half the times that I'm talking to either like Lizzie or Pete or whoever, I sometimes forget like what's on the show and what's on
What was off air.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But you were at the no hitter.
I was.
Before all this happened, with the world, how many games a year do you think you'd hit?
So when I was going to St. John's, because prior to that, I was terrified of driving on parkways, and I lived in Smithtown, Long Island, so I didn't drive myself to many. But when I had the means to get there, I probably went to like 30 or so games when I was at St. John's. Whenever I didn't have class after a game and it was like feasible to go if I wasn't home, I was there. Because it's just there's nothing else to do when you're living in Jamaica, Queens. Why not just go to Citi Field? So yeah, I went to a bunch. Since I've started dog sitting in the summers, my total for the season has taken a hit the past few years, but in my prime, I'd say 30 or so.
You go to a lot of away games too.
Yeah.
You went to San Diego with
Yeah.
us. I don't know what other away games. I just remember like the
Arizona.
one group photo. Arizona was sick.
The Arizona was best.
Way too hot to be anywhere outdoors. You went to
Yeah.
the canyon and all that.
Yeah, we saw Andrew and Amanda get engaged.
I couldn't. I good for them. I'm very happy they got engaged, but like I knew he was popping the question
Yeah.
there, but there's no way in hell I was going to be able to go out in that heat.
it
When I got
wasn't-
off the airplane, I mean, like the sliding doors open to like get
Yeah.
to the cabs.
Yeah.
It is now. It felt like we were getting hit in the face with like hair dryers. It was
Yeah.
like, fine, let me find the closest bar to the hotel.
And just
That's
chill.
going to be my one spot that I go to besides the game,
Yeah.
and that's all we did for 3 days.
I wasn't going to intervene at all.
Do it.
But Darren
That's Lizzie, by the way.
never. Hi guys. Darren never does anything extra when he goes
Fuck
away.
that.
He's there
Ever.
for the game, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bar, game.
So like he's using
Hotel.
the heat as an excuse.
I'm there to
but
reset
it's
and
not.
Totally
chill
using-
with a nice Coors Light, hanging out in whatever city we're in. Like honestly, the games itself, like not that it's like work,
Yeah.
but I'm like pretty on the clock at the outings where
and
it's
you
like
still you're coordinating with the bars and everybody at the stadium, and like you do need to maintain some
so
professionalism.
like the day
and
before the outings, I usually like to just like not do anything
Trying.
too crazy.
trying to give you a cop out.
It's just like something without fail, something always comes up that I have
Yeah.
to do work wise
Yeah.
on the outing day. Whether it's something very easy to like go through the stack of papers to find someone who lost their tickets and
Right.
email this person or that person or whatever, dealing
Right.
with whatever, hoping that the parade or the pregame or whatever goes right.
Yeah.
Where like the day before, I usually don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And day after, I don't want to do anything either.
And until you go to Seattle and you have a bonfire on the beach,
Yeah.
and you
Shots
suddenly want to
fired.
come.
Well, no. Do you know what this is?
I wasn't there, but I know that you were pissed that you weren't invited.
I'm gonna
I
get pissed about this till the
invited
day I
Kelly.
die.
Kelly is your wife.
It doesn't matter.
It obviously means you were invited if Kelly was invited.
I'm the boss.
I've
You
heard
don't
this
even- you
story
don't-
several times, and that's how I know it's a thing.
So
because
people that
I've
are
heard
watching
about
and don't know what's going on. We get to Seattle. Lizzie plans this like
Andrew
whatever.
planned it.
Yeah, it's
You're
Andrew's fault.
a
It's Andrew-
couple.
everything's Andrew's fault.
They plan this bonfire. Everyone's invited. I'm hanging out in the hotel watching. I'm basically watching like the fireworks through my window from the post game fireworks, and everyone else is like at a bonfire. I'm like, that sounds like that would have been pretty fun to go to.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it. Anyway, you just threw yourself under the bus.
He didn't know about it. Kelly knew about it, but it's fine.
Whatever. That's neither here nor there.
The
I don't
point
even
is,
know
he
how we
doesn't
got
do
on this
things on
topic.
road trips, but
Ever.
road
Yeah, no.
trips. I go to road trips. You go to a lot of games. That's where we were going with this.
That's
And
that's how we got to this.
Yes.
Yeah. So to
Back on
go
track.
from like a lot of games, and 5 years ago, this past weekend was Mets traded for Cespedes, and everyone
the
wanted
weekend
to
of
be,
2015.
Everyone wanted to be at Citi Field.
Yeah.
They swept the Nationals. They got back in first place from
was the
Flores'
best game.
walk-off, grabbing his jersey.
Yeah.
That's 5 years ago already.
That's insane.
But that was if you lived in the area, you lived anywhere close, you could drive to Citi Field. That weekend,
Had to be there.
You had to. Unfortunately, I was in. Well, I had a good time hanging out with the fam.
He
Kelly's
had a
fam.
baby.
I was in Pensacola. Amelia was only a few months old, so I was not at Citi Field that weekend.
Yeah.
But I was very jealous of all the fans that were.
I will never forget that Sunday night game, and we were all hanging out on the bridge, and they hit those 3 back-to-back home runs, and like it wasn't quite Shea where you feel like the place is gonna come down, but like we were kind of on a bridge where for a split second you're like everyone's pushing, and it was crazy. Oh, I would give anything to go back to that.
doesn't
I would
feel
give
like
anything
5
to
years
step
ago.
into Citi Field right now, let alone have a game like that to cheer for. But
Well, I don't know how it is at your age or my advanced age here, but the years and months seem to just click away
Gel.
faster. No, they just go fast.
Yeah.
Really fast.
yeah,
It's like 5 years ago.
it doesn't feel like
It
5
doesn't
years
feel
ago.
like 5 years ago
No.
that weekend. And like I was there the night of the Wilmer Flores crying game.
Yeah.
That was like a Tuesday or something like that. Yeah, it was like right before I was going to go to Pensacola. So I was at that game, and that doesn't feel like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. No,
like
not at all.
It's crazy how quick that time flies. But anyway, segue
Alas.
into this. Cespedes is no longer a Met. It's been a bunch of days now. That happened on Sunday. It's already Thursday. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of fans are kind of over
It's
this
kind
topic.
of old news at this point,
But we do want to touch on a couple of things here because you feel passionately one way.
I do.
The internet feels a different way.
Yeah.
And you told people like, hey, call in and yell at you on,
please
in,
yell
on
at
the
me.
air.
I mean, listen, anyone who follows me on Twitter, I've essentially written a thesis about it at this point, so I won't
see
get
both
too in
sides to this situation.
I definitely do too. I think from a professional, objective standpoint, they're definitely both at fault. Like, I'm not going to say
Right.
Cespedes didn't do anything wrong
Right.
objectively. My whole thing is just like, if there are competing stories within the clubhouse that Cespedes, his agents did tell the team before the game and the players knew, I don't think that just gets made up out of nowhere. I do kind of believe that the Mets would make up that they didn't get told out of nowhere because the whole thing kind of looks bad on them. I have my conspiracy theories. They are what they are. I don't know how I just saw Taylor Swift holding a gun.
Yeah.
I don't know how in depth you want me to get with that.
Well, no, my whole thing is like we've been trained over the years to never give the Mets the benefit of the doubt.
Correct.
And it's the kind of thing where things come out.
There's a
I'm
lot
trying
of
to scroll back
patterns.
to your tweet about with Shore Jan. I don't know how many days ago that is.
Oh, I
It's
think we're getting there. It's down a little more.
So when things come
That
out,
one.
it's without fail. There's always more that comes out
Yeah.
after the fact.
Sure.
So when this all happened, and it's like Cespedes' pictures on a milk crate,
Yeah.
milk carton. Where's Cespedes? No one knows where Cespedes
And not
is.
for nothing, but the language of that statement was just so irresponsible. The way they phrased it, and if they were doing it with the intent, my whole thing is I think his agents called them. Cespedes never technically called them, which should he have? Sure. But I think that's why they were able to use the language that we have not heard from Yoenis Cespedes. We have not made contact with Cespedes. They did nothing to say like, we're going to ensure his health or safety, or we don't have any reason to believe that he's in any danger. Because if you do that, that changes everything.
Well, yeah, the guy could have been dead.
That's what I'm saying. Is
so
Twitter,
how do you-
the universe is freaking out because you assume it's 2020. You assume the worst. It's first instinct is all right, he's dead because everything bad is happening, and you send that chaos, and then they put out another statement once they see everyone freaking out, be like, oh, he's fine. Yeah.
So if you don't know where he is, how do you know
How
he's
do you know
fine?
he's fine?
So I'm sitting in the backyard. the Mets had at that point lost 4 games straight.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying I was like checking out on the season, but I was hanging out in the yard. Shoemaker's over. We're swimming and stuff. We had the TV on.
Yeah.
And Kelly's mom rolls back. She's like, "You hear Cespedes is missing?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like she broke the news to me,
Yeah.
and then I instantly go to Twitter and I'm like, "Holy shit! Like this is a true story."
Kelly's mom coming in.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you hear Cespedes missing?
That's
I thought she was
amazing.
making it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole way that the news came out, I didn't write anything on the Seven Lines
Right.
Twitter at all until like the game was over,
Right.
and I wrote like no comment, like
Yeah.
because like everyone that's commenting, it's almost like I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
You write something, and it's almost like your words come back to bite you.
And it's
after
very
the fact.
emotional. It was a very
Right, so I don't write
emotional
anything.
gut instinct thing because again, everyone's first instinct, most people were talking about was like, oh my God, we hope he's okay.
Right.
Because not for nothing, you have a guy in his walk gear with a chip on his shoulder to prove to everybody that he's capable of still playing, capable of signing again this
Get paid
offseason.
next year, yeah.
Right. You don't think, okay, he's hungover, he's not showing up to the ballpark like Matt Harvey did a few years ago or whatever that whole thing was. But you don't think he's intentionally not showing up and bailing on the game. That's not your first instinct. I don't think anybody really thought he was opting out or had corona because that's something that the Mets would know and not put a statement out about.
I just think the whole thing was very strange because
Yeah.
of how hard he worked to get back on the field.
Yeah.
He was putting in so much extra work. When I was down there at fantasy camp
Mm-hmm.
in January, we would have to report like real early. Like
Yeah.
the sun was basically coming up. He was already there working
Yeah.
out. So like he worked his ass off to get back.
Was that this year that you did fantasy
Yeah, it
camp?
feels like forever ago. That was January.
Feels like 2 years ago. Holy
Yeah, so
crap.
he worked so hard to get back. He did get back. He was an opening day starter. He hit a home run opening day. Granted, he had a freaking 3,000 strikeouts
Right.
in between
Right.
13
But,
days.
I think that's what you knew you were going to get. He's either going to hit a
Right.
home run or he's going to strike out. And not that he didn't, necessarily deserve to not play every single game because he wasn't really producing, but I think an important thing to take into consideration, because people are being like, oh, well, if his mom was sick, why did he wait a week to opt out or whatever? But, a few people have said this. Cespedes' relationship with his mom, I feel, is a lot different than a lot of other people. I don't people know his origin story to the United States as they essentially like escaped Cuba, arrived together. I think his mom was like arrested at something. Like it's a very traumatic. They're very attached, and
Right.
not that he needs to explain that, but I think, in my opinion, they restructured his contract in December, where he has the incentives to make the opening day roster, to get X amount of at-bats. And I think the Mets did it thinking, okay, well, he doesn't have a prayer of doing it.
Right,
and
right,
we have
right.
to restructure because Cespedes
bet
was the
against
one.
it,
Yeah.
right.
And then Corona happens, and suddenly opening day is end of July, and there's only 60 games, and there's a DH. And suddenly all of these things become a lot more possible. And I don't necessarily know if these incentives weren't in play, if Cespedes would have even played the season, putting his mother's health at risk because they are so attached. But when you have this extra incentive to play, when you can suddenly get more money than you thought you could have because this opportunity, if MLB is telling you we can keep you safe and we can make sure nobody's getting infected, it's worth it. But in the past week, not only has he sat twice in a week and all of a sudden, there's 3 teams that are being quarantined because outbreaks have come out. If he's thinking in any way, which is possible, that the Mets are trying to screw with his at-bats, which, let's not forget that, like, Adeiny Hechavarria last year, they screwed him out of $1 million simply because they could. Not that he was so great either, but, like, I'm not putting it past the Mets to
and
be
he
doing
ended up beating
that.
the Mets when he went to the
Exactly.
Braves, right? Like
So,
he had to walk off or something like that.
Yeah, and good for him. So you know what? I think Cespedes has to maybe think that, and my whole conspiracy theory is that he was going to opt out for his mother's health. That was the main reason, and combined with the fact that, well, if
Bunch
you're
of
going to
things,
be
right.
screwing me over anyway, why am I risking my health, my mother's health, to play? Which is fine. I don't judge that decision. His agents, I think they did call before the game started. They didn't hear from Cespedes himself. They knew it was going to come out eventually that, Cespedes wasn't happy with them messing with their incentives, and instead of having that PR disaster of, we were the bad guys, let's spin it, make it look like he was the bad guy on his way out the door because he didn't even let us know he was leaving. Because all of a sudden, after Brody's press conference, there's like 2 hit pieces out about how we didn't know anything about this incentive thing until right after Brody was done talking, which, I want to give the Mets the benefit of the doubt. Cespedes, yes, he should have just picked up the phone and called himself. It wasn't hard to do. He could have done it. But from a fan point of view, if there was a way that, you can tell them that's, And Cespedes had a way to do it, and I'm not going to bash him for it.
I think
for being
people are
honest.
confused too. Like he's getting paid anyway. He's not. He
He's
walked
not.
away.
He walked away from money. So if this is
Yeah.
this doesn't make sense from
Right.
a selfish standpoint for Cespedes. He gains nothing from it. He's not getting paid for the season. This whole thing has tarnished his reputation to anyone who was going to sign him after this season. He did nothing to show that he can do anything other than hit a couple of home runs. So I don't believe that this was because
honestly,
over money. Like
he could have honestly mailed it in for the next 6 weeks
Yeah.
and got paid.
Exactly.
So like if you remember back when Ali Perez, they wanted to go in the bullpen
Yeah.
and like he refused to go down to the minors. Yeah, there's always been guys that are like hard-headed.
Yes.
So, he could have just been like, you know what, if you want to sit me, but I'm still going to get, he's not going to hit the incentives, but I'm still going to get some money.
Exactly.
Now he's getting zero.
Right.
So I don't know. It's really tough. In this day and age and all that's going on in the
Yeah.
world, I don't blame anyone for any
No.
decisions they're making.
Not at all. And I think it's one of those things, it's a he said, she said. There's three sides to every story.
I just don't like
and
all
we're
the
never
dragging
really-
going on
yeah.
afterwards. So
We're never going to know what actually happened. So I think it's
Right.
it's kind of
I just
beating
like
a
this
dead
tweet you
horse.
put out. So anyone listening afterwards might not, if you're not watching live, you can't see it. So
Mm.
Julia wrote, so you're telling me that the Mets had just conveniently fucking traded for Billy fucking Hamilton
angry.
out of nowhere before the start of this game, but they had no idea that Cespedes was thinking about opting out. And then put out the coldest, least concerned statement about his absence. And then she's got that little gift there of Sure Jan from Brady Bunch, which actually I'm surprised you even know about Brady Bunch because you're 20.
That's not the actual Brady Bunch. That's like the movie about the Brady Bunch. That's,
Okay.
What's her name? Ben Stiller's wife? Who is that?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what her name is, but whatever. But it's just, especially because the fact that the statement, if you really had no idea where this player was, you'd think their first instinct is to
Who was on the Brewers that
afraid.
opted out? A Brewers star player opted out the other day,
Yeah.
and they put out like a really nice press
statement. I forget who it was, but I know what you're talking about. But yeah, it was nice. But it's just, and that's another thing. And people were like, oh, well, Cespedes wasn't going to play the outfield anyway. One, I'm seeing Luis Rojas said the other day that he had talked to Cespedes about playing outfield, so that's apparently not true. I thought it would be true too, but also.
I didn't want him playing the outfield.
Me
anyway.
either, but you think that Dom Smith is considered an outfielder, and with Cespedes gone, Dom Smith's going to become more or less.
And
the
look at last
full-time
night. Dom
DH.
Smith produces, man.
Yeah, and so Billy Hamilton was to replace, or JD Davis, whoever it is, you're going to be down an outfield option of some sort.
Right.
You needed to bring in an outfielder. Everyone, I remember when the trade happened, and people were like, "What? Like, why did they do
Why?
this?"
Right,
Yeah, it
right,
makes
right.
no sense. But
And then 2 hours later, one of our stars is missing.
is missing. So, I am a conspiracy theorist. I don't know if it's like I used to love Pretty Little Liars, and that's all you do is just make conspiracy theories. But I am always going to question what I'm being told, especially by the Mets.
You don't think the world is flat, though, do you?
No,
right,
Richie.
good.
No, Richie. I do not think the world is flat.
All right, something came up the other day, and Kelly texted me. She's like, wait, don't we know someone that thinks the world is flat? I don't know how I forgot to do this in the beginning, but we've been giving away some stuff from Coors Light, so this week's no different. Last week, we had our winners, and I'm sorry if we didn't mail that stuff out yet. We're going to get to it. So if you're watching live on Twitter, all you got to do is press retweet. If you're watching on Facebook, click the little share button. And if you're watching on Instagram, just comment on, well, you're not watching it live on Instagram. If you're watching the replay that goes up on Instagram in about an hour from now, type in the comments, I want free Coors Light Mets stuff, because all this stuff is co-branded, Coors Light and Mets. Shout out to our friends for hooking us up with this stuff.
Oh, nice.
This is freaking awesome. This Coors Light Mets flag. We have a hat. We have a T-shirt. We have koozies. We have pint glasses. We have a bunch of stuff. So
Cool.
click that share button right now, or do whatever I just told you to do on Instagram, and you'll be automatically put in the running, and then we announce the winners next week. So if you're not watching live and you're watching the replay, you still have all week to share, retweet, or comment on Instagram. I want free Coors Light Mets stuff. So
Love it.
a guy who I think might need to reset and chill would be Mr. Pete Alonso, because the guy just looks lost.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a sophomore slump. I don't know if it's the added pressure of all the stuff that goes with being the star of New York and one of the stars of baseball. I mean, the guy overperformed last year. He did everything right. He clicked all the boxes, checked all the boxes, whatever you want to say. He won the home run derby. He is the
Rookie of
rookie
the
of the year, hitting 53 home runs.
Yeah.
But think about that. 53 home runs last year. A third of the games,
It's insane.
he hit a home run.
Yeah.
So now, I don't know if he's going up there trying to do that every at-bat, but I did, unfortunately, with the internet issue, I couldn't watch the whole game last night, but I saw some replays.
Yeah, I missed a lot of
And
it too.
He had some pretty brutal swings. He struck out, and honestly, I'm not saying that some guys at Fantasy Camp had a better swing, but like it looked pretty bad. And
coming for his neck right now. No, I didn't get to watch either. My dad said.
well, their
and my dad
batting
could have been
coach,
wrong.
Chile, is working from
Yes,
home.
yes.
So
There's
I
only
don't
so
know
much
if
you can
that's-
really
I don't know if that's
done.
really gonna fix
I think
his
he
swing.
had a hit last night. I think he might have had an RBI. I could
He got
be
on
wrong,
base.
'cause I
Yeah,
didn't
he got on
watch.
base. He's
Yeah.
not, Nimmo, I think, is 20 something straight games of being
Yeah.
on base. But Pete just looks lost. And I don't know if all the added stuff like the ESPN thing he's working on, he's doing this like mic'd up thing on YouTube. Is there too much pressure on Pete Alonso right now?
I think a huge thing with Pete, if you watched him last year, he literally feeds off of the crowd. He loves being
LFGM. Yeah, like when he said that, even like the initial time the LFGM, he like looks at the crowd like he gets all fired up.
I think he does better with an audience. I think he does better with that kind of like in the moment, good kind of pressure. He created this persona of this like man of the people, and he totally is. I'm not saying he isn't, but it's hard to, I guess, translate that performance wise when you're playing to an empty stadium and when you're up in the box, all you can do is just think about, what's going on in your own head, the situation at hand, which is, they're professional athletes. That's what they're doing the most time. But players have said in the past, especially when we go to games, they say all the time, having the 7-line army out there and like pumping us up like that. But like it definitely helps. It definitely plays a role. So when you're playing to dead air and all you're stuck up there with is your own thoughts, and especially when you have the pressure of you were rookie of the year, you were the home run derby champ, you set the franchise or the rookie record with 53 home runs. I mean, Aaron Judge set the record himself his rookie year, and then I'm pretty sure his next season he had like 27 home runs. And I mean, he's hurt all the time, so I don't know how often he was hurt that year, but no one should be expecting Pete to hit 50, even 40 home runs. I mean, in a 60-game season, probably not even 30. I think it's. Also, I'm not that I'm discrediting Pizza Star, and I'm not discrediting this at all, but we did have the juiced balls last year, which who knows how much that was helping everyone's numbers. Who knows? I think.
But he's not even making contact.
I know,
it would be different if he's hitting juiced balls, like
I agree. I'm
hitting
just
the
saying
balls
for,
and
like, the
not
home
going
runs
800
number.
feet.
Yeah.
But like the one he hit in Boston, I don't know if he's only had one or two, but the one he hit in Boston earlier this year, it was his third fastest exit velocity of his career. His short career.
He's hitting the ball just.
He's hitting the ball when he connects, but his swing just does not. I mean, I'm no freaking professional here, but his swing does not look what it was last year.
We talk a lot of shit sitting with our Coors Light behind a microphone.
I
haven't played sports since middle school.
Pete. I love Pete. I just think that with 60 games, I hope he's not putting too much added pressure on himself to go up there and be the man every day.
I agree, and I love Pete, and I love that he's doing this this YouTube show he's doing on First with Pete Alonso, where he's green to be mic'd up. And it's so funny because I watched the first episode, and the first episode really just
How long is it?
It was a few minutes, like maybe 10 minutes, not even. And it revolved around the first 2 games of the season. Obviously, opening day was great. Freddie Freeman is hysterical. Them two together are so funny. And I tweeted you this, but Freddie Freeman was like, making I guess Pete got hit in the thigh with a ball or something. And Freddie was like, oh, I hope that ball's okay. And then they were just talking about his thighs. And Pete said, chocolate milk and squats. That's how he gets his thunder thighs. And I would personally love that on a t-shirt because I relate to
Did you write that?
That was me.
I was like, I definitely remember seeing that.
You got to watch it. It's hysterical. But I appreciate that he's doing it, and I think it's going to be. I'm pretty sure he has to do it the whole season. I don't know what kind of contract.
Once you start something like this, you can't stop.
Right, and I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's also going to help keep him grounded. It's going to help keep him from spiraling because he knows he's mic'd up. It's not like he can throw these tantrums because he's got a mic and people are going to hear it. So I think that's going to help in a way. It will force him to not completely, get in his own head and whatever, but sometimes it works. Jacob deGrom gives up like one hit, he goes in the dugout and like beats something up and comes out and he's fine. So you know what, Pete, if you need to hit something, go for it.
Something else, man. Like
DeGrom's
the other day,
insane.
Yeah, like
you see him with the hand sanitizer machine in the dugout. He hit it and I was like, oh wait, we're in a pandemic. Let me fix that.
Yeah, it broke, and then he put it back in shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Jacob doesn't have complete dominance, he's upset, which I understand. Like I know a lot of people.
That's an elite mentality. That's awesome.
But yeah, check it out. It's cool that it's on the MLB's YouTube channel. So a lot of
Definitely
eyes on Pete. I see that in this screenshot here, whatever of the video, you see those cutouts there. I hope that our cutouts. I don't know. I haven't got a progress report on the cutouts after the storm the other day, but I'm wondering.
It's rough.
I saw some comments after the fact. I posted something like. There was this movie a long time ago called Wizard of Oz. I don't know if you saw it.
Come on.
She's kicking the fence to try to get in during the twister, and I posted that the other day, and someone were like, "Oh, our cutouts are probably going to story right now."
Like the flying cows in the movie Twister.
Yeah,
I feel like that's going to be our cutouts just flying around City Field. I would love that.
Another funny comment was our cutouts are getting arrested for being on the field right now. There's a whole bunch of like funny comments
Well,
on
I
that.
thought it would just be hysterical on like a really windy day. You know how you see like the burger wrappers flying all over the field? To just see like our cutouts just floating aimlessly about the field, that would be amazing. But, probably hurt someone. But I'm very curious to see. I can't. Like I said, I've been doing these bingo games. We played 7-line bingo, and I have found myself as a host of my own bingo games now. But I haven't watched a lot of the games this week. Have we been home? Have we been able to see?
No,
we were
but
away,
like
right?
I
We
think
were
that
in DC?
if our cutouts were gone, I feel like Howie and Wayne would talk about that last
Yeah.
night. Because they're still doing the
They're still-
broadcast
yeah, they're
from
still at the
City
stadium,
Field. So
right.
who knows?
Yeah.
I know our boy Gary over at Print Station NY. If our cutouts are gone, they're gonna have to remake them.
I guess.
People paid for them.
Yeah.
If they're gone, they're gonna have to.
I don't know.
Put them back in there. But
Not my job.
since we are not going to be at the ballpark anytime soon, I did want to talk about something really cool that I noticed here on the Feltmans of Coney Island website. So and Julia before we went live, and I definitely remember seeing these T-shirts all around the ballpark. If you're watching live, see if you could pull this up. Where is it? There it is. Jimmy Quinn Memorial T-shirts. So every year, the Quinn brothers, make sure I don't mess this up, Michael and Joe, they put on this benefit every year at Citi Field for their brother Jimmy, who passed away in 9/11.
Wow.
And this year, since there is no game to go to, they're doing this virtual thing where you go on the website, you can either pick up the package or pick up this T-shirt.
Yeah.
And they're diehard Mets fans, and they're both veterans. So it's a local business. They revived the Feltmans of Coney Island brand. It's the original hot dog.
That's incredible.
I actually, honestly, I didn't want to not take their word for it.
Yeah.
But I went to the Google machine, and typed in
Google machine.
who invented the hot dog, and it was Feltmans of Coney
That's
Island.
insane.
So
If there's any hot dog company to give them your money, veterans,
Yeah.
they invented the hot dog? Like, come
Michael
on.
and Joe. Yeah, Michael and Joe revived the brand in honor of their brother in 2015. He passed away in 9/11.
Yeah.
And together, the brothers have spent 30 years in uniform and 113 months deployed overseas.
Wow.
That's insane.
Well, this is an incredible cause.
This is definitely a great business to get behind. So
Yeah.
Feltmans of Coney Island, go check them out. They do delivery, and really, Lizzie's getting all pumped up in the background here.
I
What
love
they're
hot
doing for
dogs.
our listeners is a special 10% off promo code. So all you have to do is go to feltmansofconeyisland.com, type in T7L, you get 10% off. And if you want to be part of their virtual, I guess it's like a watch party, you're going to be watching from home, pick up the T-shirt. And on 9/11, the Mets will be playing
Yankees.
No, this coming year.
Oh,
On
right, that's next
9/11, the Mets will be playing where
know
is
who
it?
they're
The Blue
playing this year.
Jays on September 11th. So they're asking everyone to pick up some hot dogs, wear the shirt, post a photo online, tag them, and they're going
Yeah.
to make like a whole collage of the pictures.
That's
and,
awesome.
Definitely check them out. So 10% off for our listeners. But if you happen to be a military member or a first responder, they have a special thing on their site where you can go to, you click on it, it's like id.me. And if you're a service member, a veteran, or a first responder, you always get 10% off. So really cool. Mets fans, local business, check them out. Feltmansofconeyisland.com. Pick up a T-shirt, pick up some mustard, pick up some hot dogs, and have yourself a little party there. So
Nice. Awesome. And Mike and Joe, thank you for your service.
absolutely.
Amazing.
And you've definitely seen those T-shirts.
Yeah.
If you've walked around the ballpark, because this would have been the 19-year anniversary
Yeah.
of 9/11. I don't know what year they started the
I don't know.
games at the ballpark, but they definitely had them at Shea.
Yeah.
And at Citi Field, and you'll definitely see those T-shirts all over the place. So
Yeah, for sure.
shout out to the Quins.
That's awesome.
Very awesome cause. Oh, you know what? Before I move on, the package that they are selling here, I can't find it here. I don't know if I scrolled away from it for a second. But I saw this thing on here that they're doing, this special, if you want to pick up the shirt, you can also get a whole package where you get the shirt, but it also comes with a package of dogs and all that stuff, and all the proceeds go to Tuesday's Children.
Oh, that's
you know
awesome.
about
Yeah, yeah.
So I had it up here before, and I can't find it now, but definitely browse their site. You should be able to find it.
That's amazing.
Where is it? Before I move on, let's see if I can find it here.
Should be everyone's hot dog of choice. There's no excuses.
I'm gonna order some tonight.
You should. Locally owned, Mets fans,
I
great
know.
cause. Yeah, so anyway, check them out.
Awesome.
Before I move on, I do have to announce last week's contest winners because
do it.
like I said, if you share the show and do all that stuff, you have a week to do it. Right. So if you're not watching live, you're listening afterwards, you could definitely still be a part of it. So last week's free Coors Light Mets Stuff contest winners on Twitter, we have at Kim, I don't want to mess this up, so at KIMMIESEI, that's on Twitter. On Facebook, Christian Acevedo. And on Instagram, at Mike Dingman, as Lizzie's knocking shit over in the background.
Sorry.
Mike Dingman. You're all going to get some free stuff. We're going to contact you for your address. And unfortunately, we wanted to bring back What's in the Box, so maybe we're going to have to lead this into next week because we do keep the show under an hour now for Instagram purposes. Yeah. Their limitations are an hour. I liked when we used to have like the off the rail shows where we'd be going for like an hour and 20 minutes. I'm like, oh shit,
and
like
piss drunk.
Yeah, like drinking growlers, getting whacked, and responsibly, of course.
Right.
And having a good time. But now that we started to post our show on Instagram, we got to keep it under a minute. So we will do What's in the Box if you call right now. If you don't call right now, then you can't play What's in the Box. But 631-388-5195. What's in the Box is very easy.
Holding the phone.
All you have to do is basically tell us 1, 2, or 3, and whatever's in the box is going to be yours for free.
Let's go.
If not, I'm going to do my little spiel here. Share the show if you're watching live. If not, and you're listening afterwards on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, all that stuff. Just see who they are first. And, subscribe, comment, share, rate, do all that stuff. It really helps the show. So, Julia, I had fun this week.
Same. This was fun.
Big Alba Trivia. You've been killing it. If you haven't,
Thank you.
If you're joining late, this is our host on Wednesday nights. She runs the show. She's doing the graphics behind her on the easel.
It was my elementary
Your cue
school
cards.
arts and crafts. Yeah.
It's fun though. I really enjoy watching.
Definitely a fun time.
Other stuff on our platforms that I have nothing to do with.
There's a certain chaotic energy that comes with an Instagram live show that you just can't get anywhere else. So I highly encourage everyone to watch. It's a fun time.
And Stroman, if you're watching this, I doubt you are. I hope you're feeling better. We need you.
Yeah, big time.
The Mets, they're 5-8, but honestly, you can't play this game all the time with, they should have won this game or they should have won that game.
Not in this late in the game. Because if it was a regular season and it was August, we wouldn't be saying that. It'd be like, you got to start winning these games.
So we need all the help we can get. We need everyone healthy. And hopefully things with, Cano, we'll see what happens with that. He's not getting any younger. Cano, McNeil, Rosario, all that good stuff.
He
Hopefully
was hot
these
too.
guys
Stinks.
are feeling better. So we are going to play What's in the Box. We are pretty strapped for time, but we'll be quick here. What's up, Clay? How you doing?
What's up, Darren? How's it going?
Good. Where are you from? I hear a little twang.
St. Augustine, Florida.
Awesome. How you doing down there? Was the weather pretty shitty past couple days?
No, it's been great. 100 degrees every day, hot.
That's too much for me. I don't like that. That's not great. Great 60.
Agreed.
All right, Clay. I like it never cold.
So listen, 1, 2, or 3, whatever's in the box, you get to keep for free.
We're gonna go number 3.
The big one.
All right. We try to throw people off too. It's different size boxes doesn't mean it's the bigger prize. So 3, if you're listening afterwards,
that's cheap.
3 is the biggest box of the 3. Let's see what's inside. Oh, Clay, you got a sticker. You got 1 sticker, and hang on the line. Lizzie will get your address.
Up.
Oh,
that's
sure.
No,
it's still like a $7
no, it
decal.
Is. That's an awesome.
That was
sticker.
Darren's idea.
That's an awesome.
Listen,
sticker.
anything for free is still good.
I agree. I'm just the deception was. But
Listen,
that's fine.
Clay, before we let you go, living in Florida, how'd you become a Mets fan?
My dad raised me a Mets fan, so.
Do you curse him every day, or do you curse?
Pretty much. He rooted for the worst team growing up, and that was the Mets, and so. Now, me and my kids, my family are all Mets fans.
They're still rooting for the worst team growing up.
Misery loves company. Thanks, Clay.
Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one. You guys address? Cool. All right, so that's an orange and blue thing. Thanks for checking in. I haven't had power in a couple days. I haven't had cell phone service.
Come to my house. Everybody's here anyway.
Hopefully things get back to normal soon wherever you're at. And back to normal is a very weird thing to say now because what is normal in 2020?
Normal.
I don't freaking know. But hopefully the Mets get back on track, and next Thursday we have a whole bunch of fun stuff to talk about. And, it's weird. The Marlins are in first place right now. So 2020 is really freaking weird. All right, guys, be good. And thanks to Julia for hopping on with us today.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
The callers, the sharers, and all that stuff. And cheers to Coors Light. Cheers to our friends at Dugout, and cheers to Feltman's of Coney Island. Definitely check them out. 10% off. Use that code T7L. All right, guys. See you next week.